Yo, what is up, YouTube? So I've had a ton of people asking me, Viss, we want your final thoughts on the Blackout Beta, on the PC Blackout Beta. Your overall thoughts on the beta. What do you think of the game? What do you think of it, Viss? Is it worth picking up? I'm gonna lay out all my thoughts, at least not all of them, but yo, I'm gonna lay out my thoughts. Hopefully, pretty decently quick. I don't want to make this video super long, but I want to give everybody my thoughts on what I think of the game. So yo, let's start off right off the bat about like you're going into the round, you're dropping out of the helicopters, out of the choppers, right? And you're dropping in with a wingsuit. I think the wingsuit idea from Blackout was like it was such a good idea, bro. The wingsuit is sick. Dive out of the chopper, right? Now, if you guys don't know if you know this, but if you dive straight down out of the chopper, right, you pick up speed, you get up to about like 65 on your speedometer on the side, and then if you flatten out, you end up maintaining your speed, and you can make it almost across the entire map. Often I would drop out of the chopper as soon as you would go into the map, dive straight down, and then flatten out, and man, you could make it almost, you'd probably make it about 4/5 the way across the map doing that. And you get to the locations a little bit quicker. Apparently, they're going to swap that up so that you don't outpace the choppers. But, yeah, I think it's a really cool mechanic. I think it's a great mechanic, man. The wingsuit is sick. I feel like it fits perfect with Call of Duty, fits perfect with Blackout, with what they're trying to deliver. I think it's a really, really great idea. And not only is it super cool, the fact that you get a drop in with a wingsuit, but the fact that you keep it later on in the game, you can use it at different points, jumping out of helicopters, jumping off the dam, jumping off the construction site, higher up buildings. I think that's a really awesome thing. So the map in itself, people have asked me, Viss, what do you think about the size of the map? Do you think it's too big? Do you think it's too small? I think the map size, honestly, is pretty much perfect for what the game is trying to do. For being like a Call of Duty, a little bit faster paced, battle royale experience, I think the map size itself is really good. I think the map design itself is pretty good. There's maybe a couple areas on the map that I didn't like as much for a few different reasons. The area between the construction site, train station, and the firing range, there's like all that forest up in there. I feel like there could be one more thing, like something else going on up in that forest to make that area a little bit more exciting. It just ended up feeling like a giant forest, which is kind of cool to have on the map, but I feel like there could be something else in there to spice it up even a little bit more. And then I was just watching Doc today, and he was like saying something about the map as well, about it's the particular area below the dam. If you go from the dam to the asylum, down to the turbines, and all the way around to the factory, he was kind of saying that it all feels the same, and I would have to agree on that. I would have to agree on that. It all feels like that whole desert area. I feel like something else could be thrown in there to make it feel different. Like the buildings and stuff, the factory's cool, the turbine, the asylum. The asylum might be one of my favorite places on the map. The actual location itself and the graveyard, I really like that area. But I think that something needs to be done with the terrain. Like maybe if there was like some giant mountain that had like snow coming off of it down in the bottom right corner to make that area feel like a little bit different, or maybe like a tropical area. I don't know. I don't know exactly what it would be, but I end up feeling the same way. Kind of Doc mentioned in his stream today that he did, that it feels very like it just feels the same. Like it's all desert. It's not that I'm trying to shit on the map or anything. Like, I think the map's pretty good, but I think these things could make it feel a little bit better. So, my overall thought of the map, I like the map size. I like the different locations. Awesome that they brought the past maps from Call of Duty, introduced it into this map. Man, like Nuketown and the bunkers under Nuketown, super sick. The turbines, like all the giant turbines spinning up out there. I think all those things, the whole map, like all the things that were brought together, all the old existing maps brought in, super awesome. So yeah, general thoughts on the map, pretty damn good. I think some small things can be done to make it a little bit better, but currently as it stands, I think it's great. The weapons in the game, there's a bunch of different weapons. Overall, I like the variety of weapons. I did start to feel like some of the guns feel very similar. Like there wasn't a huge characteristic between the guns, but man, there's only so much you can do too with like weapons in a shooter to make them feel that much different without making them crap. You know, like you don't want to make them like you don't want to have to make them feel so different that some guns just suck because they had to be different. So like overall, like the weapons, I like the variety of weapons. I like how the weapons looked. Some of them have just like very much similar to one another. The recoils could maybe be a little bit different, but to be honest, like some people are like Viss, it feels like a lot of these guns don't have a whole lot of recoil. And honestly, like I would expect that from a Call of Duty, right? The Call of Duty is not trying to be super over the top, have a bunch of different, really hard to learn recoil patterns in the game. They're not trying to be the most outright. They're not trying to be CSGO. Like even though they're kind of going that route and introducing recoil patterns that you can learn, similar to like how CSGOs are, they're not going to try to be over the top, super difficult to learn these patterns. Like they want it to be easy. They want it to be friendly to the casual player, right? They want it to be a fun game. It's not something where you have to be like, I have to practice 500 hours to learn this recoil pattern. So overall, I think the weapons are good. I like the variety. I think that they could maybe do a little bit more here or there. But to be honest, like I couldn't just like say exactly what they need to do. I think that some things could be definitely improved. But if you ask me exactly what I would do to change them, I don't honestly know. I'm just saying that I feel like it has room for improvement on some of that. The equipment in the game, there's like a ton of different equipment, like the flash grenades, concussions, cluster grenades, regular grenades, Molotovs. So many different pieces of equipment. The like barricade, you got the RC car, you got the sensor dart. So cool, man. Such a huge variety of equipment. Some people prefer different equipment items, and you end up being able to, man, like how creative you can get with the equipment and the stuff that you can do was awesome. I really liked it. Equipment ends up being very strong. I think some items needs to have like somewhat of a nerf. Like, man, you can flash people all day with the 9 bangs and the concussions last like 5 seconds. So some of the equipment might be too strong, but I really like the variety of the equipment, and I like the plays that you can make with it, man. Some things, some of the equipment you can do is awesome, and I don't even think we've scratched the surface on what some of the plays that we will see people make with some of the gear. Next thing up that I wanted to talk about was healing in the game. I mean, you got your like bandages, what were they called? Like the first aids, you got med kits, and then you got trauma kits, right? I like that they just went with 3 different medical items. All the medical items end up being pretty good. You can heal up pretty quick in the game. Since it's a Call of Duty, you want it to be faster paced. I kind of like how fast you can heal. One of the main things, like along the same lines of healing, is how fast you can end up rezzing people. I think that maybe the res time should be a little bit higher, just a little bit. I don't want it to be something super long, because I want the game to still feel like COD, right? You still want it to be a fast-paced battle royale experience. I think that the res time could go up just a little bit. Just a little bit. Sometimes, man, you get a guy knocked and it's just like, boom, he's just right back up before you can even make any play. And then he's hit a trauma kit. He's already back at 200 health. So I think sometimes like the res could be a little bit longer. Now, this was like a big point of contention with that I heard like people talking about in chat and just different people like discussing across like social media and whatnot, was armor and time to kill. Personally, like the time to kill on like level 1, level 2 armor, I was pretty cool with, and like base armor, I like the time to kill. I like that it's a little bit higher. Like honestly, sometimes you'd still get melted, but I feel like overall, like on average, the time to kill in this game is higher than what you would see in like PUBG, right? And I kind of like that because it gives you an opportunity to turn a fight. It's not like you're just running along through the forest and then there's a dude laying in a bush and he just turns and he lights you up and you're dead instantly without a chance to come back, right? It's like he starts shooting you and man, you could, if you got like a sniper out, you could turn and like headshot him and make some crazy play to save yourself. Or you could like, if you got the grappling hook, right, that you could like grapple the cover as you're getting shot and maybe be able to survive and come back in the fight. So I feel like it allows for comeback plays, and I kind of like that. Especially if you're like out playing aggressive. If you just get caught off guard, you still have an opportunity sometimes to come back in that fight. Now, the one thing I will say is like early on in the beta, it felt like level 3 armor was really, really, really strong, man. Like way too strong. People just eat bullets. If you were level 3 armor with a trauma kit, man, you were almost invincible, it seemed. Over time, they kind of nerfed level 3 armor, became more rare, and I think they made it a little bit worse. Like you didn't have as much protection from it, and it broke a little bit easier. Towards the end of the beta, I started feeling like it was a lot better, and I noticed when I had level 3 armor that I didn't feel super tanky in some situations. It might still need like a little bit of a tweak from where it's at now, but honestly, I think they got it in a pretty good spot. The only thing I would say is you'd probably want level 3 armor. I don't think you just want to randomly drop in the world, mate. Like, put it in boxes, put it in crates, put it in the mystery box, those sort of things. I just don't think you want to just out laying around. It's a very strong item. I feel like it's got to be kind of even a little bit more rare, maybe even than it is now. Let's move on. Let's talk about perks. Some people are like, man, they put perks in this game. I freaking don't like the fact that they put perks in that game. In this game, man, I'm exactly the opposite. I'm like, perks in this game, that's freaking awesome. I'm glad that Call of Duty is bringing something like new to the table. It's like, boom, let's bring our perk system in. How are we going to use it? You can loot perks off the ground. You can save these perks. You can activate them at different times. I really like the perk system. I think the perk system's awesome and brings something new to the table. Now, some perks might be a little bit too strong. Awareness might be a little bit too strong. Dead silence might be a little bit too strong. Maybe they need to nerf those a little bit, tweak them a little bit. But I think that the perk system is awesome. I really, really liked them bringing that into the game. I think that's a new take, new thing to add in to a Battle Royale experience. I really liked it. The vehicles in the game. So currently in the game, there's a boat, there's an ATV, there's a truck, and there's a helicopter. All the vehicles, they seemed all pretty damn fun. I like the truck. I like how you can get into the back. You can actually move around. Man, you could... I never saw anyone do this, but I think you might be able to do this. You can maybe put a barrier into the back of the truck, and then you could throw down like a trophy system in that thing. You could have like a roaming, completely surrounded cover. Like, there's some really cool stuff that you can do with some of the vehicles, like the fact that it has a moving platform in the back of the truck. The ATV handles really well. You can get a guy on the back. The boat's super quick. Travels super fast down. The boat might be one of the fastest vehicles, excluding the chopper. I really like how they're like moving platforms, though. You're not locked into a one position. You can move around on them. I thought that was really cool. And then the helicopter, man. This is something we're like, man, how are they going to make helicopters work in a battle royale? Well, like Call of Duty figured it out, right? You make it so they can't go too high. They don't have like some crazy speed, and you make it so they can be very easily damaged. But the choppers was so fun, like flying under bridges, bring your teammates around. You can like fire off the side of the chopper. Chopper's about to blow up, wingsuit off of it. Vehicles were awesome. I feel like they fit perfectly into like a faster pace, more fun battle royale that Call of Duty's trying to deliver. I thought the vehicles were really great. Looting. I would like to see a little bit of like maybe a vicinity looting system, like the fact you have to go to every single item and like hit F, pick up this, F, hit that sort of thing. Didn't like it as much. You could definitely get in the flow. It's not that it's a looting system that doesn't work. It can still work, but I think there's something that could be better, especially on PC. I thought the looting, the loot bag on PC, when you're actually looting other players, at first I was like, man, this seems really weird to me, but I started kind of getting the hang of it, and I kind of started liking it towards the end of the beta. After you had enough time on it, I thought it was a pretty good system, like with actually looting the bag. Maybe you can make it so people can move around a little bit more when looting, or maybe you don't, and you make it so they're more vulnerable. If you're going to loot, you better make sure that you're safe, type of thing. One of the things that goes into looting were the drops, the random boxes, and the mystery boxes. Drops, I mean, typically, most BRs now, they all have drops. I think it was good that they included them in. Some of the drop weapons, like having weapons fully equipped. It's not even that the weapons are like that much. They're not stronger, right? Like, you can find the weapons out in the world that you find in the drops, except for like the War Machine. I think almost all the other guns, if not mistaken, you could find and you could get them fully equipped. The fact that you can just go to a box and get a fully equipped gun was really awesome. Or like in the random boxes that spawned around the world. I thought the mystery box was really cool, and I think that towards the end, how they had you like killing off the zombies. If you have to kill off the zombies to get the loot in the box, I thought that was a really cool thing as well. Kind of brings the zombies a little bit more into play. But yeah, I really liked how they did the drops, the random boxes that you find around the world, and the mystery boxes. Thought that was really cool. The pacing of the game, I think the initial, like the starting of the game, like this now. So when I'm talking about the pacing, I'm talking about like as the circle collapses, how long a game lasts. I think the pacing is really good all the way up until the end. I think it gets like towards the end and it kind of slows down. And I don't think it needs to slow down. It gets to this point where you're just waiting almost at the end game, like the final few circles. I think a lot of people will understand what I'm talking about with that. Where I think that point of the game, like it's still, if you just carried the momentum through the whole game into the end and didn't have that slowdown, I think the game would be better. I think it would feel better. I think a lot of people would have more fun with it. There wasn't ever a time where I was like, the game needs to slow down, right? And that if you push the pace, that it's actually going to make crazier, more fun experiences. So I think towards the end game, it needs a little bit of a speed up to push into the end. And then the last thing I just wanted to mention with all this whole like total, my overall thoughts was how badass Treyarch was, man. Like Treyarch, they delivered on this great experience. Like the flipping game ran well. Like they pushed out updates, like so many updates during the beta. Like they got them out there so quick. They were listening to the community. I feel like a lot of the changes they were making were really good. There wasn't anything where like, why the hell did they do this? The fact that they added in like the zombie boss to kind of like tease zombies, like, hey, don't forget, we still got zombies on the way too. Not only is our game gonna have multiplayer and Blackout and like, you know, all this experience, but it's gonna have zombies as well. Like they did some really cool stuff. They extended the beta an extra 2 hours. Like they didn't have to do that, you know. They threw in at the end an extra extension. Overall, my thoughts on the whole beta was it was really damn good. There was almost like no negatives really to it. I think this is gonna be a really fun game. You'll definitely see it on the channel. I think when this comes out, I'll be playing a whole lot of it. I'll be mixing other things in as well, but this will be definitely something that I'm gonna be putting a lot of time into. Something I will mention, I hope this would be super cool, is if when it comes to launch, if they're like, yo, not only do we have this map, but we have another map that we've been working on as well, and it's coming during release. Could you imagine if they did that? I think having like one more map would be really, really dope. If we don't get it though, I'll still be happy. But I just thought that would be really awesome. But yo, those are my overall thoughts on the whole PC beta. It was a great experience. I hope this kind of helps you guys understand what I think, maybe shed some lights on my thoughts and my analysis of the beta. I hope you guys enjoyed the beta as well. Hope you guys enjoyed this video and me talking about it, breaking it down, what I think. And yo, I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.